Okay, Lion fans, the 2017 season hasn't gotten off to the start we were all hoping as our Lions went on the road this past weekend and dropped a tough one to Central Arkansas in the Southland Conference opener. Southeastern started their third different quarterback against the Bears, and we will update you on that situation on this program. This team now has a choice as they have a chance to turn their season around and come out and get a victory against Lamar this weekend, which will put them right back in the Southland Conference race with still plenty of football to play. Good evening, Lion fans. I'm Alan Waddell, and I want to welcome you to the Ron Roberts Radio Show live from our home, Topla Catering, right here at 113 East Thomas Street in downtown Hammond. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be with you until 8 o'clock. Over the next hour, we'll get Coach Roberts' thoughts on the Southland Conference opener against UCA, and then turn our attention to the Lamar Cardinals as they come to Hammond for a 7 p.m. kickoff this weekend in Strawberry Stadium. Let's take a timeout. When we return, I'll be joined by the head coach of your Southeastern Lions, Ron Roberts. You listen to the Ron Roberts Radio Show on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
In Southeast Louisiana, one luxury automobile dealership stands apart from all the rest, Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans. It's more than just offering Mercedes-Benz vehicles, it's Star Service that prides itself on customer relationships.
From valet service and Mercedes-Benz loaner cars, our customers enjoy award-winning Star Service. Come see what Star Service is all about.
Visit Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans on Veterans in Metairie or at mbofno.com.
What does it mean to be Southland strong?
It's not just big wins.
It's success in the classroom
and being engaged with service,
family, passion,
integrity,
overcoming adversity,
hard work and dedication,
bettering people around,
striving for excellence,
leadership and competition
on our campuses
and in our communities.
We are Southland strong.
All right, welcome back to Topla Catering. I'm Alan Waddell. Thank you so much for joining us for the Ron Roberts Radio Show. As we now welcome to the show, the reason you're all here, the reason you're all listening, the head football coach of your Southeastern Lions, Coach Ron Roberts. Coach, thanks for being here tonight.
Oh, thank you. And tell the people there's still time to come down. You got some great food and great company,
yeah, no doubt.
great people.
No doubt. We want to thank everyone who came out here tonight. And just a reminder, we're at Topla Catering. Back at Topla Catering here in 2017. They have the lunch menu. A great staff working for us here tonight. So we appreciate all that Topla has done for us. And Ron, I know that we've been doing this now 6 years together, and these are the shows that are they're a little bit tough, though. You know, you go on the road, and I know this isn't the way you wanted this one to. You wanted your Southland Conference season to start out. This was a much more competitive game than the score in it at the end. Just talk about your thoughts on Saturday's game against UCA.
Yeah, it's a little, I think it's a little frustrating more than anything. I thought our kids fought hard, Again, we fought some obstacles there trying to go through, but I thought that's kind of what we looked for going in at halftime. We were trying to get it to something like that, getting something manageable, a 14-3, something like, that's the ballpark we were looking for. To be manageable in the second half, an opportunity to win the ball game. It wasn't perfect, obviously, in the first half, and thought really we probably had a chance to make it a 7-6, a 7-3, and get out at halftime. And that would have been a little bit better. And then obviously some big plays occurred there in the second half and the third quarter, and kind of really opened the thing wide open.
Ron, when we saw the schedule come out earlier this year, we knew this was going to be a tough one. You open up conference play on the road up there against UCA. They're a top 15 program. They were a playoff team a year ago. And certainly, you had your hands full. That's a good football team you played on Saturday.
They're a good football team. Yeah, they are. I thought, again, they're pretty well-rounded in all areas. Did a good job. And they're playing from a lot of confidence. I mean, it's one thing when they're kind of still reeling in that confidence from last year's team, how well they did. And they're feeding off of that, and they're playing real well right now.
Ron, let's talk about the quarterback situation. You played 3 games. We've had 3 different starters. You decided this week you would go with Micah Thomas to start the game. We saw 3 different guys play quarterback in this one. Talk about where we're at that moment right now going into week 4 against here Lamar. As I know week 1 it was Lorenzo Nunez. He was hurt and was not able to play against Bethune-Cookman. We saw Donovan Isa most of the way in that game. And then and this one, for a majority of the first half, it was Micah Thomas. So talk about what's going on with that position and the offense right now. Yeah,
one of the things, obviously going in, Lorenzo was still hurt, didn't practice all last week. He's not obviously he got on the field, but he's not capable of doing a lot of things running-wise and that. Thought Micah gave us the best chance going in to win because we knew we were going to have to control the clock, try to keep their offense off the field a little bit, and their best opportunity was to run the football. Let's say we just controlled the time of possession and try to keep it a low-scoring ball game. And I thought Micah came in and did a lot of good things, a lot of really good things. Again, I was pleased with the way he handled his first start. And then, what we did go in the game, because it's kind of you're in an iffy situation. We think Byron Walker's got a lot of promise. Our whole plan the whole time was we wanted to redshirt him to give him a chance to be a 4-year guy. That's what you want in your program. You want to have those, and it's hard as a true freshman to come in ready to play because you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and mentally you're not really ready for this. So and then going through the game, we thought if we could get away with Micah being the quarterback, then we're going to get Lorenzo back, and we didn't want to burn Byron's red shirt for one game, and so you're going all the things, you're trying to do the right thing for the kid. But as it came down, we go in, and then at halftime we said, okay, our best chance probably is we really felt we had a matchup. We could throw the football if Lorenzo could stay in the pocket. We knew he can't run, and we kind of coached him up to throw the ball away, and if you get in those situations, just get rid of it. And thought we had an opportunity there to throw the football on them and move the ball. Thought we had some matchups on the outside that we were better enough and we were good enough to where we could move the football. And then on the last sack, when he got sacked, he hurt his knee again. So it was better off to be done with that one. And then at that point we say, okay, if he's going to be out, then let's go with Byron and pull it. And so put him in the ball game. I thought he did really well for a freshman. He showed that he's built. I mean, we recruit him for a reason. He can do everything we're asking him to do as a quarterback. Can throw it. He's going to be, now he's got to learn the hard way and learn on the ropes and learn fast. But I like the kid and his composure, and he didn't blink an eye when we said, hey, we're going to go. And he said, okay, and he's known that along, that he was an emergency situation. But when the time came, he didn't hesitate and he didn't get nervous, and he went in there, and I thought he really played well for a freshman.
And to give you a little background information on Byron Walker, he's a true freshman. He's from Sulphur High School over in the western part of the state. I believe he's a 4-year starter at Sulphur. I mean, he played a lot of football, played a lot of really big games. He's really built for this offense. This is really the offense he ran in high school was an option, pass attack as well. But I guess the question is, I mean, moving forward here, is Lorenzo out? I mean, are we just day to day? Is it?
Yeah, it's a day to day. This is the same thing we've heard, since he did it. So it's just when he feels comfortable. I mean, when he can do it, then he'll be ready to go. I don't know when that's going to be.
Ron, I know it's got to be frustrating for yourself, for your team, is because we saw how explosive this offense could be in Week 1 against UL when you put up nearly 50 points against an FBS opponent. Then the last couple of weeks, offense has been a bit of a struggle. Only one offensive touchdown in the last 2 games. I know that your staff's working hard to correct that and get ready for Lamar this weekend, and just have to be a little creative because, and especially in the first half of this game, you're playing UCA. They're a good defense. They've been a good defense for the last couple of years, and we really were one-dimensional. We only threw one until about a minute left to go in the first half, didn't throw a pass. Just really went in and tried to be a run-first team. I know that's got to be a little bit different, and that certainly makes it easier to play defense on the other side, but it's just one of the battles that y'all are having to face right now with the injuries and the uncertainty at the quarterback position.
Yeah, and again, I was hoping, again, we hope we would have performed a little better on defense. I mean, I was hoping, again, we would be able to answer that bell and come in there. I mean, when UCA is really good on offense, we knew that, but we thought we could answer that bell, and if we limit it to the possessions, then hopefully we could make this, like I said, if it's a 14-3, you're one big play away from, being in a dogfight. And, I think our kids handle it well. I know they're extremely frustrated right now.
Well, that was going to be my next question. I mean, you have a good football team. You have a lot of talent on this team. We've seen it. You come out the gates 0-3. I mean, how do you keep the team together? Don't panic. We've got to just go one game at a time at this point.
That's all you do. I mean, again, you can't. Season's not made on one. It's frustrating. Everybody's frustrated. And it is what it is. What we got to do. We still got a shot. Again, we got. And I think we're gonna have it in 8 ball games. We got a chance to win them all 8. I said. We just got to go out there and play. We need a W bad.
Coach, talk about Busby. He played this week at corner.
Yeah.
I know that you were happy. We talked about the last couple of weeks, had some issues with the NCAA as far as getting him eligible, as he was a player that was coming from Canada, but we were able to see him, and he made some plays on defense. Talk about his performance.
Yeah, he did. I was really pleased with him. Again, his first college start, and comes in, and he's going to be a really good player for us. And I really feel positive about those things. Like, I think the 2 corners we got right now, I think can play at a high level. And so I'm looking forward to seeing their progress as we go through season 2.
Ron, I know we spent here the first 10 minutes of the show a lot on the offensive side of the football with what's going on with some injuries and things of that nature. Talk about defensively in this game. I know you went into the game saying how much better, how much improved you thought UCA was on offense this year, that they had a little more big play ability in this game. They had a quarterback in Hayden Hildebrand who's been there for a while. Contained them pretty well early. I mean, they went down on the first possession and scored, but really did a good job hanging in there. But it's one of those games when you can't get anything going offensively and you have to keep going out there in the second half, maybe get a little tired, a little frustrated. Do you think that's what happened in this game?
No, I mean, obviously there was mistakes on the big plays. We had 2 big plays that kind of really we get the double post, which is a blown coverage, and then we get a screen that goes for 60 on a missed tackle, and another guy one misfits it, another one misses the tackle, and you get a big play. I was hoping that we would play better than that. I was hoping we can, if we're going to be able to have an opportunity to win a game like that, then we need to.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this right here on the Ron Roberts Radio Show on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Renday's Quick Stop is a proud supporter of Southeastern Athletics. Located at 306 West University Avenue in Hammond, right across the street from campus. Renday's is conveniently open 24/7 and serves hot Greek and Lebanese food. They also have great snacks for those late night study sessions. They have friendly service and a wide assortment of wine and beer for all your needs. Stop by today and line up.
All right, welcome back here to the Ron Roberts Radio Show. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you may be listening on the network or online at linesports.net. We really appreciate everyone who keep it up with Southeastern Athletics. We're going to be doing this each and every Monday night, Mondays, right here at Topoli Catering in downtown Hammond from 7 to 8 o'clock. Come on out, enjoy dinner, enjoy the show. As next week we'll be talking about the Lions game this week against Lamar, as we'll talk about the Lamar Cardinals coming up here in about 30 minutes. We'll jump to the Lamar Cardinals and talk about those guys. We're going to get coaches' thoughts against UCA as we open up Southland Conference play this past week. And Ron, we'll kind of jump into this one here for just a moment and talk about some of the big plays in this game, some of the decisions and things of that nature as we take a look back at the UCA game. First of all, come out, they get the ball to start the football game, and I know this isn't the way you want to start. You go on the road and they put together a nice drive and go down and put points on the board and go up 7-0 in this one. And we had a chance to get off the field on third down and didn't do that, and it's always hard when you go on the road and you fall behind.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't. I really didn't think that was. I mean, they go down and score, but I was really. We come out and kick off return. We answer the bell. And we take the thing down to the 13-yard line. Great turn of events. We talked about those things that special teams are going to be huge in this one. Ability to set some things up and get us some great field position and those things. And I was real pleased with kickoff return ability to do that. Yeah,
Ron, let's talk about that just a moment. That's one thing that certainly has been a major highlight the last couple of weeks. We saw Petit Frere run the kickoff back against Bethune-Cookman. He almost takes it to the house here in this one to even the score up. And after that, they pretty much said we're not giving him any more shots. It was all sky kicks from that point. But, I mean, you said at the beginning of the year he's the type of guy that could be a difference maker and certainly has that big playability.
Yeah, he does. And, again, it was a good job on the whole unit. I mean, just, again, picking guys up, the way they blocked it, they fit it. But you can block it and fit it all you want, but you still have to have a guy that's going to, shove it up. A guy that's going to hit the hole and hit it now. And he did that, and he's done that. And so he's going to have a bright future as a kickoff return here, and he's going to have a great career. He's a sophomore doing that, and so you look forward to him doing that for the next 3 years.
Yeah, certainly. He can certainly really run in that case. But, Ron, talk about that first drive offensively. We come out. Micah Thomas comes out at quarterback. I know that y'all knew, obviously, but a lot of the fans, a lot of the media didn't know who was going to be playing quarterback. You come out. It's 3 runs in a row. You get to a fourth down situation, a fourth and I think about 3. You decide to go for it here. You don't kick the field goal. Talk about that decision right there at that point in the game.
Yeah. Well, at that point, again, I don't know how many times we were going to have an opportunity to get down there. So I was trying to come away with some points. I mean, more than just 3. We got it dialed up, and when he pulls the ball, he gets tripped up and doesn't get the first and we missed one. We missed a block. So at that point, really, what it is, I mean, I was trying to, especially the way they walked the ball down and scored. So I was saying, hey, we're going to have to make the most of our opportunities to put the ball in the end zone because I don't know how many of those chances we're going to get.
Ron, I know at that point as well, one of the decisions I think that goes into that too is whenever you decide not to hit the field goal is if you don't get it, they're going to stay backed up. We weren't able to keep them down there. I know that's a big point of the game. If you make a punt out of their end zone right there, maybe it's not that big of a deal that you don't get points on that possession.
It's huge. We get them in a 3rd and 9 inside their 10-yard line, and they throw a little screen, and we let them out for the first. Yep, and that's a big turn of events, and they saw it. Yeah.
Well, Ron, let's talk about we touched on at the beginning of the show offensively, and this one is the fact that they were just really geared up to stop the run. I guess because they didn't know who was going to be playing quarterback as well, and whenever Micah Thomas had come in, we haven't seen him throw the ball a whole lot for your team since he's been here, even a year ago when he's been in the game this week. I mean, were they just selling out for the run there in the first half?
No, really. They didn't really structurally change a whole lot of what they were doing. They were playing their base defense. I mean, they were probably a little more aggressive with safeties downhill and stuff, but they were just. I mean, last year they were one of the tops in the country defending the run, and they've done a good job of recruiting. Several of the defense linemen are really good players. I mean, just because I know several of them, we recruited them, and they're really good players, and they've been playing really solid defense.
Ron, we did put some drives together. We were able to move the ball on them offensively and had a couple of chances to get down there in the scoring zone to try to put some points on the board. We did kick a field goal in the first half that we missed. And we've been really good at kicking field goals here early on in the year. I believe it was a 40-something yarder there.
It was probably like a 45 or 47. Yeah. They were all pretty long attempts we did with him, yeah.
Yeah, talk about, I mean, you talked about it last week. You felt good, though, from 50 in with Burkhart.
Yeah, I did. I mean, going into that game, there was a little tailwind coming out the one side when we tried a 50-yard going towards the scoreboard. I can't remember what quarter that was in. That one was a little long, and he knew it coming in. I knew it going in. It said thought he had the leg to get it there. But wasn't real confident about that kick because it was 50 and it was going to hit, and they had a little tailwind coming in his face. But again, at that point, you're trying to take a shot and see if we have an opportunity to get some points.
Yeah, no doubt. His points were a premium certainly in that first half. You fall behind 14-0 in the first half. It was 7-0 for almost the entire first half. They go up 14-0. I want to take it to the last really possession of the first half for us. We have the football. We're getting the ball to start the third quarter.
Yep.
We run. Micah throws his first pass of the game. We throw a deep pass down the right sideline. They actually call it incomplete at first, but it ended up being a great catch as they went back and reviewed it and got the ball near midfield.
Yep. And again, great kid, Austin Mitchell does a nice job catching that young man, and he's a freshman, pretty big turn of events because ability to flip the field. There's times we're really trying to again make sure on the opportunities we had, you had to try to get it to midfield so we'd have at least have if we're going to take a shot, I needed 3 more downs and a chance to get that first because they were good enough on defense. We knew that coming in. So when we were going to take our shots going into the ball game was when if we get the ball and we can get in that midfield range or we can go for it on 4 downs, then that's when we're going to be able to take our chances and take our shot throwing the ball.
Well, take me through the huddle as right after this play, it goes to a long review. But I believe that was the exact moment you decided to make the switch, and you went with Lorenzo to come in and try and play quarterback for the last few plays of that first half. Talk about that decision, what was going on there.
Yeah, there was about a minute on the clock. Thought we could try to get ourselves to get in a hurry up. I mean, he said the coach, if I can stand in there and just throw it, I'm fine as long as he can't run. He couldn't run, but thought at some point we had a chance if we could bring him in and just to be able to stand in the pocket and throw the football, and then we'll work a 2-minute situation and see if we can get a chance to get the ball in the end zone there.
And he does that. I mean, makes a great throw down there to J.J. Connor, makes a catch. He gets it out of bounds with about 4 seconds left to go in the half. So you have an opportunity to get points right before the half. So really in a half, we're not a whole lot right. I mean, we're down 14-0. It looks like, hey, we're going to put points on the board. We're going to be right back in this thing.
Yeah. We'll go down. We kicked the field goal, and so it was nice in that part of the drive that we were finishing up, and that's kind of what led at halftime. I just, maybe our best bet may be to go ahead and let him do it and see if he can throw the ball coming out here in the third quarter and see if we can get something going.
Yeah, he would come out in the third quarter. We're going to talk about that here in just a moment. I do want to ask you this, and you mentioned it, the fact that Lorenzo couldn't start the game, not real mobile right now. He had the brace on his knee and all that. Is there any concern of further injury? Is it one of those deals where he could get hurt more? Or
Yeah, I mean, he could. It didn't until they taped him up pretty daggum good. So
yeah, I mean, you could see
Brandon
it.
said he didn't. Our trainer said he didn't really think there was any chance of it, and that was part of it. He says, "Coach, I taped him up so good. I don't think there's any way he can hurt that thing any worse."
Right.
So that and the brace on top of it. So we felt pretty good that he really wasn't going to get a chance of any further injuring himself. But when a kid's not mobile, when I can fear when he wouldn't throw the ball away. If he's not mobile enough to protect himself, at that point it's just get him out.
Well, right, and a guy like him as well, because your first instinct when you're a dual threat or when you can run the ball is you want to escape, and you get pressure and you want to escape, and you could see that a couple of times, especially in the second half. We'll talk about that more in just a moment, but he would look to try to escape and just couldn't do so. Right. And it's really kind of sad to watch. I mean, because he's such a good athlete.
Right.
Ron, talk about right there before the half, you make it as 14-3. Again, had to feel pretty good going in the locker room knowing you were going to get the ball back coming back out of the third quarter.
We did. I think everybody in the locker room, our mentality was, again, this is what we had asked for, really. We thought this is what we told our kids, this is how we're going to do this thing, was is going to try to be, we knew it was going to be, hey, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's maybe somewhere, maybe 14-7, hopefully. If it's not, it's going to be, hopefully we're going to look for that. We're going to look for 7-0, 10-3, something like that. We knew we were going to be in a dogfight in that part of it. And it was going to be a low-scoring game with the opportunity to go ahead and strike. And I thought at that point we did. We had the ball. We had an opportunity to go down there and strike. And it just didn't pan out that way.
Yeah, you certainly could feel the momentum had shifted to your sideline right there right before the half. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the second half of the UCA game, and then we will shut the door on that one, turn the page, and look ahead to the Lamar Cardinals right here on the Ron Roberts Radio Show on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
In Southeast Louisiana, one luxury automobile dealership stands apart from all the rest, Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans. It's more than just offering Mercedes-Benz vehicles, it's Star Service that prides itself on customer relationships.
From valet service and Mercedes-Benz loaner cars. Our customers enjoy award-winning Star service. Come see what Star Service is all about.
Visit Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans on Veterans in Metairie or at mbofno.com.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
All right, welcome back inside Topoli Catering. Thank you so much for joining us. As a reminder that you can always follow your Lions at lionsports.net online. You can keep up with Southeastern at lionsports.net. I'm Alan Waddell. This is the Ron Roberts Radio Show. Thank you so much. We're about halfway home on our program. We do this each and every Monday night from 7 to 8 o'clock right here at Topoli Catering in downtown Hammond. Went to break. We're talking about the game against UCA. As the Lions trailed 14-3 going into the halftime locker room. And, Ron, we talked about it a little bit off the air getting ready for this segment, but certainly at this point in the game felt like, hey, you're back in the ball game, you're getting the ball to start the third quarter. And one thing that UCA pretty much was doing is they were just giving us good field position because they were so afraid to kick it deep since we had the long return last week and then the long return to start this game, as we were having opportunities with some decent field position, 35, 40-yard line, seemed like every possession.
Yeah, I think we started that drive out on the 40-yard line as coming out the third quarter.
Yeah, coming out on the third quarter. And Ron, I believe we get 8 yards, I think, on first down, and we have an opportunity to keep the drive alive. And looking back at it, probably one of the biggest plays of the game. You're down 14-3.
Yeah.
You get to a 4th-and-1 situation. Really the strength of your football team is probably your offensive line and the way that they've been playing. You decide to go for it on 4th down. Talk about that decision. Obviously, looking back at the game, this was a big play in the football game here early in the third quarter.
Yeah, it was. Well, again, at that point, you're trying to do something. I think if we can get this, it's a yard, and we give the ball juice, and we think, we can get a yard. I think hopefully I'm trying to spark us back into this day. I'm thinking to continue some momentum, keep this drive alive, and keep the football, and they stop us. Yep.
They did. But you've always been an aggressive coach. That's what you do. You went for it there in the first quarter, trying to get a touchdown on the first possession, coming out in the third quarter. Really, Probably looking back at the game, the two biggest plays of the game were the 4th down stops. In the first quarter, we have an opportunity to get points, and then going here early in the third quarter.
Yep. And the biggest message, doing those things, if you're going to win championships, you got to win. You got to win. You got to do that. You got to understand that, and you got to be able to convert. In both those situations, you can't get stopped in that.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. They get the football back, and we have I could see the frustration on your face here. As obviously that's a tough one. You get the ball really on a short field, and they were able to put a couple of plays together and go up 21-0. Not 21-0, 21-3 at that point.
Yep.
And just the way that the game had been going, just felt like a really big lead at that point there whenever they went up by 3 scores.
Well, yeah, and it kind of was because, I mean, at this point you're looking around, our chances of scoring 21 points it doesn't look real promising at that point, But, again, what we're trying to sell our kids on that is that, hey, we have an opportunity in the return game to get one at any time, not just kickoff return, But we thought really on our punt return unit thought, hey, if we can get the gunners held up and give him some break. That's the only thing we talked about at halftime. We held all week, but again, we were doubling the gunners, and we got split on the double team like 3 times in the first half. And we said, look, if you'll just give him a chance, the return set up. We'll fix. And we thought really we had 7 points laying on the table in special teams. So there's 7 there. If you can get 7 there, if you can get one time and get the ball down in the end zone, there's another 7, and then somewhere in there you just got to hope again they turn the ball over or something low or throw you the football or something, and you come up with a big play.
Well, Ron, you decided, we talked about it going into the break, you decided to come back with Nunez to start the third quarter. Mm-hmm. Felt like you had an opportunity to throw the football there in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, just again, we had some receivers that, again, that we thought we could take advantage of, throwing the football. I mean, and we knew, if Lorenzo was going to play, that was going to be the thing we're going after. We're going to go after a couple other guys that we thought really we had a mismatch and had guys open and ability to get them the ball. So at that point, really, we thought we could come out there and do that in the third quarter.
Certainly did that, and they weren't able to get anything going offensively. And then one thing you certainly can't do in a game like this, where it's so close and points are at a premium, is give them points on defense. And they were able to do that. They were able to try to fumble into a touchdown, and it kind of snowballed from there, and they got it out there. And they decided to get Lorenzo out of the game and to go to Byron Walker. And I know we talked about him a little bit at the top of the show, but he played pretty much almost the whole second half. So he played almost the whole third quarter and then the whole fourth quarter. Talk about what this young man brings to the table, because just kind of from what I'm hearing you say here today and some body language and things of that nature, this is probably not the last time we're going to see Byron Walker here in 2017.
No, I wouldn't think so. I like him a lot. I mean, he's a good quarterback. He can throw it. He can run it. He can do everything you're asking him to do. The only thing he's fighting is youth, and how fast is he going to grow up, and he's got to put the time into. He's going to make some mistakes, but I think he's going to make. I think he's got ability to make a lot of plays for us here this year.
You mentioned it earlier about the red shirt rule. Just for our fans that don't know, how does the red shirt rule work? I know that because you can play in some parts of the season. They changed that?
No.
I thought you used to could play like a couple of games.
That's only if you get hurt. That's a medical red shirt. If you play and you take one snap, your red shirt's done. You don't get a red shirt.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm wrong on that. I thought there was like a percentage of plays that you could play.
You can't. No. So if you play at all, your red shirt there's no red shirt. You can't red shirt. Now, if you play up and past game 3. If you can play up to game 3, and if you have a season-ending injury, you can get a medical red shirt for that year. But if you do that in game 4 or 5, you can't. So if somebody gets in game 5, that was the thing that happened with we had somebody a couple of years ago do that. They played, but they got hurt in game 4, season-ending injury. They don't get the year back, and they're done.
Yeah, that's disappointing. I do remember that now that you say that, looking back at that. Oh, I mean, Ron, we'll wrap up this one against UCA. I mean, obviously, the second half didn't go the way you wanted it to go. The game plan kind of – I mean, your plan was going in the game, try to keep it close, give yourself an opportunity in the second half. You did that. I mean, you had an opportunity going into the second half. Really, the game turned on that fourth down play. They were able to go down and score, and I know that's got to be the message. You can't let that happen. You can't let the game turn on one play like that. Right. And give yourself an opportunity to win the game in the second half. Yeah,
I mean, I thought we had some chances. That's probably the frustrating thing with our guys. I think if we felt like if we played them again, I think we think we got another shot to go do it. They're a good football team. But I think hopefully we need to we just need to take care of ourselves. We got the next 4 or 5 ball games. We're gonna have several of them at home. And then get ourselves ready for this, hopefully October, make a run to get a chance in this thing.
Well, Ron, that's where I was going next. I'm sure that's what, our fans want to hear as going up to this point is, you look back at it in the last few years, we've had some slow starts, but we've been able to turn it around and pull ourselves out of a hole a little bit. You look back at 13, we were 1-2. You look back at 14, we're 2-2. It's not like we'd come out the gates, even on the championship years, incredibly fast. What is the message this week? What is the message to your team? Again, I mentioned earlier, you don't want to lose the team is the fact of we just need to win. We got to come back and get a win.
I don't think anything about losing them at all. I mean, our guys are pretty daggum locked in, pretty focused. They're a little disappointed. They're real frustrated. We had to talk last week. They knew about that, because it comes and they hear everything everybody people say, and the questions up in the air about the quarterback situation and all that. Hey, guys, the message last week to the team was, guys, I don't care. We're going through a little problem right now. We're going to get it figured out. But the other thing is, there's 21 other guys on that field at the same time, and the guys that can pick up more weight, you need to pick it up. Until we get this thing sorted out. We got to lean on the guys that can, and lean on the veterans that have been here, and you're going to have to pull us through this thing. And I wish it wouldn't want it to be a week when we had to go play number 14 in the country and play one of the top teams in the country. I would have had to play somebody that gave us a little breathing room in there to get the maturity factor under our quarterback situation done. But that's the way it worked out. It's not the end of the world. We're going to go play again this Saturday, and I expect to win them all. I don't think our kids feel any different. We've got some things we got to get worked out now. How are we going to win, and how are we going to take care of this thing, and what are we going to do? And then, but right now we're going to start putting Byron Walker quarterback, and we're going to roll. And I hope he's going to answer the question. He's going to make some mistakes. He's a freshman. He's going to make some mistakes. You know that going in. But I hope he's going to make some big plays, and he's going to give us the best opportunity to win.
Well, certainly, and again, that's what I'm hearing from you is you have a confident football team. I think so many times in sports, you get off to a poor start, you lose confidence. You don't feel like that in any way with your team.
No, I don't think there's any way with our guys. If anything, they're frustrated. They're frustrated. They want, I think I've said it before when we started the season. I love this group right now. They got a great attitude, great work ethic. They're trying to do everything we ask them to do. Was it a concern of mine? No doubt. Saturday night, I was definitely concerned about that riding home. We got 7 hours on a bus. Here we go, and you get back at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm worried to death, about my guys and their mentality and where they're at. And so I think I didn't go to sleep. I was on the phone texting with our players because they're on 3 other buses, and from there to about 6:30 in the morning, and I about spoke with every one of them, and they're good. I feel our guy. I don't have any doubts about where we're at as a football team right now. I don't. Again, when I got on the bus Saturday, I was a little nervous on that part. Because those are the times that really, and I said to them afterwards, hey, guys, this is when you find out what kind of character we've got in the room. Because a lot of people are going to say a lot of things, and everybody's going to have an answer. And I've been here before. You guys have been here, been here for 4 or 5 years. You've been here before. We've sat in this chair. Don't worry. We got to rely on the people that are here, and let's pull this thing together, and let's go do what we're capable of doing.
Well, I think that's certainly what our fan base, they want to hear. That's what they want to hear because it certainly I think there's still a lot of confidence about this club. We saw, in week 1, the potential of what this club can be. And we got a long way to go. We have a lot of football to be played, and I think that's one of the I think maybe the world we live here in 2017 is instant gratification. If it doesn't work out right away, everybody panics, and and that's why I think I wanted to bring that subject up and have you touch on it here on our program. As I do want to before we close the book on UCA, we kind of brushed over it, but I always give you an opportunity to say anybody kind of jump out at you now that you had a chance to watch the tape that you thought had a good football game in this one that maybe we didn't talk about.
There, like I said, you mentioned a couple in first time playing. Shamar Busby, I thought he played well. He had a couple mistakes. Sure, but I thought he really played well. When you talk about up front, I think John Miller's a guy that stands out, defensive lineman. I think at that time we had a couple of Jamon Miller, Carell Vaughn. Those guys played well. We had some guys play really hard. Oh, we really did. I think Michael Vick's probably the hardest game I've ever seen him play. I think there's some guys that really sold out and gave it everything they got. And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask, and I tell them, you guys, you gave it everything you got, and there's don't hang your head, just roll. Winning will take care of itself if you take care of the right things.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to turn our attention to the Lamar Cardinals for the remainder of our program right here on the Ron Roberts Radio Show on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network.
Renday's Quick Stop is a proud supporter of Southeastern Athletics. Located at 306 West University Avenue in Hammond, right across the street from campus, Renday's is conveniently open 24/7 and serves hot Greek and Lebanese food. They also have great snacks for those late-night study sessions. They have friendly service and a wide assortment of wine and beer for all your needs. Stop by today and line up.
NCAA Division I FCS football is a game of perseverance, integrity, passion, character, and sportsmanship. As he works to honor the game, every FCS student-athlete grows in his responsibilities as a student and as a member of his campus and community. Dedicated to personal growth and success in the classroom, the NCAA Division I FCS, every down, every day.
All right, welcome back to the Ron Roberts Radio Show here at Topolok Catering. Thank you so much for joining us as we're about to turn our attention to the Lions' opponent this weekend as game number 2 at home in Strawberry Stadium. The Lamar Cardinals will come to town for a 7 o'clock kickoff. One thing we do want to remind everyone is that all of our shows this year are going to be streamed on Facebook, and you can, if you missed the show, you can go back and watch it on Facebook if somebody didn't see. And right here on my computer this week, I have my 31 Strong sticker for my good friend Cole Catalano, former Lion baseball player who's battling a brain tumor. So we certainly want to keep him in our prayers this week. As Cole, we're all praying for you, and we know you're going to beat this thing. There's you beat cancer. As Ron, let's talk about the Lamar Cardinals for just a moment. One thing is, it seems like every home game we have there's a theme of the week, and this week it's Hall of Fame weekend. As we have 3 new members going into the Hall of Fame. I called Larry Heimel on the way here. I was like, hey, give me some stuff to talk about, because Larry does such a good job with the Hall of Fame. And this is a big weekend for him and a big weekend for all the Hall of Fame members here at Southeastern. They're going to have a ceremony at 4:30 at the University Center, and then they'll be honored at halftime. The 3 members going in this year is Kerry Yost, Cass Hargis, and Tommy Connors. Cass, the hit king in baseball, has the most hits in Southeastern baseball history, and then Tommy Connors. It made me realize that I've been doing this for a while now because, covered Tommy, so now he's going into the Hall of Fame. So certainly
head coach at Shaw.
Yeah, the head coach at Shaw. I think they said he's not going to make it to the 4:30 ceremony because they have a game. The Catholic League plays a lot of games on Saturday, but he will be at the game, and they'll be honored at halftime. So we want to congratulate those 3 guys, guys I went to school with and guys that I covered here at Southeastern. So certainly congratulate to them, and also Carrie as well, what she did for our Southeastern program. It's always a great weekend. All the Hall of Fame members come back, and I really think we do that as good as anybody around, as making those guys and those men and women that are in the Southeastern Athletics Hall of Fame, and make it a big deal every year to come on back, be a part of Southeastern, and honor their recognition and honor their accolades here at Southeastern.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, you play the game. Why? Yeah, you play it for the compete and all that stuff, but you play it for the relationships you build for a lifetime. You play it an opportunity to meet people that will be friends for your life.
No doubt about it. So, again, that'll be a Hall of Fame ceremony this weekend. Kerry Yost, Cass Hargis, and Tommy Connors. Tommy Connors, a former Lion football player here. The others with other sports is Cass baseball and Kerry as well. Let's talk about Lamar a little bit, Coach. This is a team that they're not the same as what we saw. They've had a change at the head coach position. They've had some turnover over there. Lamar's a program that in a school that hey, it was devastated by the hurricane, and over there I know that their facilities and their campus got a lot of water over there, but they're off to a 1-2 start. They lost to North Texas and Northwestern State last week in the conference opener. They defeated Texas Permian Basin. But certainly this is a different-looking football team than we've seen the last couple of years because it's going to be philosophically a little bit different when they come in here.
Yeah, Coach Schultz is some people may remember him. He was a long-time offense coordinator at TCU. He's an option guy.
Yeah, Mike Schultz.
Yep, and so this is his first year getting in there. So they're gonna be a little spread, but there's a spread option attack offensively, and then you're going to see defensively. Melvin Smith is defense coordinator. There'll be an odd man front pressure, so they'll be coming after us.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The new head coach is Mike Schultz. Now, I want to talk about their quarterback just a moment. Their quarterback, Daryl Colbert Jr., he has been responsible for 10 touchdowns in the first 3 games, 7 through the air, 3 rushing in the first 3 games. So that makes sense now that you say that they're a running football team as well. But they can throw it as well. They have 7 passing touchdowns in the first 3 games.
Yeah, he's a transfer from SMU. I think he's a transfer from SMU, and I think he's from Lamar. I believe so.
Beaumont. Lamar, Texas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I'm not up on my Texas geography.
Yeah, I think he's from Lamar, Texas, and then transferred in from SMU. Good dual threat quarterback. Athlete, can run the option, can throw it. Doesn't have much. I don't think he doesn't have too many starts under his belt, so he's fairly new. But he is an older guy. I think he's a graduate transfer, so he should be a senior. I haven't checked that part of it, but I think he is a senior.
You always know the number. What number?
7.
Say, I know you always know the number. It's usually we don't throw people's names out there. We just throw their numbers out there. But, Ron, they ran the ball 50 times last week against Northwestern State. They went on the road last week to Natchitoches and played the Demons, dropped a really tough game to Northwestern State. But they ran it 50 times, and they're averaging 237 yards per game running the football. So, obviously, stopping the run has got to be a key for you this week defensively.
Yeah, it is, and it will be every week. But they got a couple of running backs, obviously some bigger guys. They're mostly the bigger guys, bigger type of backs. And they got a couple of little receivers that do run some speed sweeps and stuff, and the guys they pitch it to. Number 1 and 23 are 2 young guys that can move pretty good. But most of their backs are bigger guys. They're the 220, 225 guys.
Lions are 5-4 all time against Lamar, and a year ago, Lamar actually won this football game 38-14 in Beaumont. And looking back at it, that was a big game. You look back at how the season ended up 7-4. If you go 8-3, you're probably getting the playoffs. Didn't work out that way over there against Lamar, but certainly I'm sure your players that were on last year's team. They have something to say about this one as a big game. First, we're trying to get the first one of the season, but obviously against an opponent like Lamar as well.
Yeah, they'll come over here and they're a good football. They're a good football team. They got some really good players. They always have. I thought Lamar's always a very talented football team, it was a real big game last year for us. One, just because for us it was really more of a I want to say that it was the come to Jesus meeting after that. We didn't play very well, and it was time to get things right, and I think that was really like the spinning point for that, and I think we won 6 out of the next 7.
After that game we were 1-3. So you look at again.
Yeah. So I think our guys. I mean, they're a good football team. We look forward to coming here, but I think our guys are looking forward to the matchup.
Ron, looking just kind of doing some studying before the program here to get just kind of a grasp on Lamar. One thing I thought that jumped out to me is that they've caused 7 turnovers already this year in 3 games, and they actually caused 4 turnovers against Northwestern State and lost the game. So that's you don't see that very often.
They had the ball. Yeah, they had the ball, and they were about midfield. They had the ball with about 2 minutes to go. They had the ball at midfield the last drive, and then they went down and he threw an interception about the 20-yard line.
So they had an opportunity to
they had the ball. Yeah, they had the ball going down for the drive, and he threw the interception, I think, with about 48 seconds on the clock.
There was a lot of really good games in the Southland Conference this last week. I know that you obviously were focused on UCA and then this week's opponent. I mean, Incarnate Word lost their game on the last play of the game. They threw an interception that was run back for a touchdown. They actually ran a little like a flea flicker, and it got intercepted and run back for a touchdown. It was one of the national plays of the week this week in FCS football. So certainly a lot of parity in the Southland Conference. I think we've seen that already. We knew that going in, and we talked about this. Again, not saying that the whole season's on Saturday, but certainly, I mean, if you're going to get back in this thing, you need a win on Saturday and get heading in the right direction, because over the last few years, the champion doesn't have, more than 1 or 2 losses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it's always very competitive, certainly.
Right. I mean, you got a chance with 1 loss, no problem, because usually everybody's going to beat each other up. And we'll hopefully, we're still in a situation. For me, we control our own destiny. The Central Arkansas has got a chance to they still got to play Sam Houston, McNeese. They got to play everybody.
Right.
And if they run the table, then great, they run the table. But then when we have the rest. I mean, so we control we control our own destiny really at this point.
Oh, no doubt about it. And Ron, I mean, we have about 7 or 8 minutes left to go here on our program, and we'll just kind of again, it's a 7 o'clock kickoff this weekend.
My ice cream's melting. I just want to make sure you know.
I know
we
you
gotta
got
take a
your
break
cake
anytime
and your.
soon?
Well, you got it. It needs to hold on about 8 more minutes,
Okay.
and we'll be able to get through there. I kind of forgot about that when we started coming back over here about the
Yeah?
cake and the ice cream.
You did?
You always got you a big old piece of cake.
I know.
right?
Thank you, Junior Matthew. Yeah. And the most best cake and ice cream you can get
What do
in
you
town.
got there?
Chocolate fudge cake. I don't know what you call it.
If you're feeling down, that'll make you feel better.
Yeah, with some, was it cherry flavoring on top?
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Once again, that's
Delicious.
that's a plug there for Topla Catering.
No
and
doubt.
Topla,
Come on down and get you some.
Yeah, no doubt. Ron, as a team, what do you want to see out of your team this week? I mean, as we go into this game, I mean, obviously, we've touched on a lot. These are the hard shows. You come off of a tough game, and you got to talk about it again tomorrow at your press conference and the Southland Conference. I mean, I know it's one of those you want to flush, but certainly it's there, and it happened, and now you have to turn the page from it. And we've seen your teams respond in these type of situations before over the years, and I'm sure you're counting on that happening again here in 2017.
Yeah. The message really is that to be honest, it's really about find a way to win a game. It doesn't matter what it takes, but let's find a way to get a W at the end of the day. Just because we need it, we need it just for everybody to get that, sigh of relief, and let's go focus on football. I think, like I said, coming in, I told the same thing Sunday night to last night, guys, no question. We probably had our best practice Tuesday, Wednesday last week. I think we had our best practice of the year Tuesday and Wednesday. I thought our kids are giving tremendous effort. I think that's what part leads to all the frustration. Frustration occurs usually in an athlete when you're doing everything you're supposed to and you don't get any reward yet. Right. You know what I mean? That's sometimes it occurs for a kid because he's busting his tail on the field and he doesn't get on the field. He's a backup. He don't play. He gets extremely frustrated, and it can happen to a football team when you're doing all these things. Hey, coach, you told me to do this and this and this, and hey, wait a minute. I'm not getting the reward at the end of the day, and so it calls for you're getting frustrated, and usually when I was telling them is that when you're extremely frustrated, then there's got to be somebody or something that's going to have to light the ignite that's going to say, hey, it's time to turn this thing around and let's get going. And you don't know what that's going to be. We're going to go through the week and we're going to figure it out, and it's going to be somebody, it's going to be some person that's going to ignite something, it's going to ignite a spark, and or whatever it is, and that's going to turn this thing around and get us rolling.
Coach, we do have a couple of questions that have come in here tonight that we will ask you. We do it each and every week, and we do Ask the Coach. You can send questions. You go to lionsports.net. You go to Ask the Coach under a football tab, and they will send the questions up here to the stage, and I can read them to coaches. Coach, Peter from Hammond says, Coach, talk about Burkhart and his performance so far early in the year at the kicker position.
I think he's done it really well. When I asked him to kick a 50-yarder with a little wind in his face, he had the distance. It's just the wind caught it and took it a little off. I think the two he missed was a 50 and 47. I'm not sure if I'm exact right on those distance, but it was pretty good. But I think he's an excellent kicker, and I think he's going to have a great year.
Coach John from Slidell says, Ron, we've seen some of your teams start slow in the past, but they've always seemed to turn around. How do you do that each and every year?
Well, I think I got some good coaches, and they do a good job of coaching them up, and and I think our guys do a great job of scheming people when we get it going. But the other thing is just keeping guys, keeping the kids focused. That there are bigger things out there, and that's one thing we always try to preach is that if all you do is talk about winning football games, that's one thing, but I've always tried to take approach with our guys that it's more about there's a lot more to this than just football. It's about you developing work habits that are going to be successful for the next 40 years of your life. That these are, learning how to fight adversity, because this is easy. This is football. When you're 40 and you're married and you have 3 kids and you figure out how you're going to get your house note, that's real adversity. This is nothing. 0-3, if you can't handle this, son, and it's going to get a lot tougher than this. So we try to get them a perspective that all we're doing is trying to prepare you for life. So this is just an opportunity for us to answer the bell and to go prepare for handling for adversity and preparing ourselves to go be successful from here on out.
Ron, one final question tonight that comes in. It comes from Lion Up Joe from Hammond. Says, Coach, what is Lamar doing defensively that gives people trouble?
They're an odd front pressure team. They bring a lot of pressure. They're blitzing every down. Most of the time they're in either one free man or they're in zero. Means they're sending everybody. So they're coming, which creates a lot of havoc. It does create a lot of havoc, but it also does create some opportunities for some big plays to occur. So maybe but down on the wall and we're going to pop one. And it's going to go to the house. And we just got to be patient with that and make sure we stay with it.
It's a 7 o'clock kickoff this Saturday, and Coach, just a couple of minutes left to go here on our program, and we'll kind of finish up the night here by saying this. I've just got a lot of calls and texts this week. Already from Sunday and then yesterday. Is one thing is when you have success, you breed expectations.
Yep.
And I think that there's some people that are fans of Southeastern, and that we've got a lot more of them now than we did 6 years ago.
Correct.
That whenever you start out 0-3, people are panicking.
Yep.
And I guess, what's your message to the fan base, to the university as, hey, I know this isn't where you want to be, but we're there, and we got to move forward from there.
Yeah, sure, it's not where I wanted to be, Again, that's what you want. You want to build something that hopefully you do have expectations for success, and with that comes this. When you're 0-3, how are you going to handle it? I think our guys are going to answer the bell. I know we will. And we'll see. We'll see at the end of the day. We'll see where we're at. But I've got a feeling we're going to. We got just a good chance going 8-3. I told our guys we can go ahead. We can run the table and go 8-3, or you can lay an egg and we can go 0-11. That's what we're going to do. The same thing like in the ball game. When you get down, you can't quit. So. I think our guys will. I know they will. They're going to answer the ball right, and we're going to keep working. And I'm not panicked. I'm frustrated, no doubt. I'm extremely frustrated, but we're not panicking. Nobody in that building is panicking. Our kids aren't panicking. That's the most important.
Well, that's what we wanted to hear, Coach. And I know that there's everybody in this room, everyone listening tonight, that we're behind you. We're behind your football team, and we look forward to Saturday to come out and a chance to get this thing going in the right direction against a good Lamar team that's coming in here. But certainly, if you're going to get back in this thing, need a win on Saturday, and I know that's the message.
No doubt.
Well, Ron, thank you so much for being here. That's going to do it for us, as we want to thank everyone who came out here tonight, all of our sponsors that get us on the air each and every week, and obviously all of our affiliates around on the network, as again, you can join us each and every Monday night from 7 to 8 o'clock right here at Topla Catering. I want to thank Topla for all they do for us. They have the lunch menu for you, so come on out, have dinner and a show. As we've had a lot of fun here tonight, as we're going to turn the page from UCA and look forward to a 7 o'clock kickoff this Saturday night in Strawberry Stadium, a big Southland Conference matchup as our Lions look to pick up their first Southland Conference win of the year against the Lamar Cardinals. Once again, 7 o'clock, Strawberry Stadium this weekend. We hope to see you on Saturday night. For everyone associated with this show, for Coach Ron Roberts, I'm Alan Waddell. We'll see you next week right here on the Ron Roberts Radio Show on the Southeastern Sports Radio Network. Line up, everybody.